Okay, this video is a video involving half-life where you're trying to find out how much remains after a certain time period. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to have the half-life equation. So the half-life equation goes the amount remaining is equal to the amount that you start with, which is like A0 down here, okay? And that's multiplied times, so you're going to multiply that times 0.5 to the power of the time divided by the half-life. Alright? So then we're going to plug in the numbers. How much, okay, so that means we're looking for A over here because that's how much remains. How much remains, we're starting with A, and I like to tell people that this is like times 0. Okay, so this is what you start with. Then you're going to multiply that times 0.5, but 0.5 has to be raised to the time. Okay, so the time is 48, and then the half-life is 8. You always want to make sure that these are in the same unit. So this is days here, and this is days here. If they're not in the same unit, you got to convert one or the other. Okay, so then what I'm going to do on my calculator, I always do the power first, and so what I would have is I'd have 48 divided by 8 is 6. So I'm going to take 32 times 0.5 and 48 divided by 8 to the 6th power is 6. Now on your calculator you would probably want to type in something like this: 0.5 upper caret 6, alright, and then you would take that number times 32. You have to do the power first, alright, and when you end up doing that problem, and you should see if you can work this out and see if you get the same answer that I do with your calculator, you should get that remaining would be 0.50 grams. Alright, so make sure you try to push the buttons and see if you get the same answer that I got. Alright, here's another problem. Okay, this is the same type of problem, but what I'd like you to do is to pause this video and then try this problem yourself and then check it, and if you continue the video, I'll have the problem worked out. So pause the video now. Okay, so let's see if you did this one right. So this one says what mass of tritium remains, so it's a half-life problem, so we're going to write the equation. So the amount remaining, that's A, equals how much you have at time 0, or how much you start with, times 1/2, or, you know, I say 1/2, but on your calculator, let's just start over. On your calculator, you're going to have to put in 0.5, so I can just write 0.5 there. So times 0.5, which is the same as 1/2, to the time divided by the half-life. Alright, so the question is how much remains? So that's A over here. That's what we're looking for. So how much do you have initially? 100 grams. Alright, that's going to be multiplied times 0.5. Okay, so the time is 60 years, and the half-life is 12 years. Okay, once again, make sure that they're in the same unit, which they are in this problem. So 60 divided by 12 is 5. So I'm going to always do the exponent first. So I'm going to have 100 grams times 0.5 to 60 divided by 12, which is the 5th power. Now, if I go ahead and push the buttons while I do this, go ahead and, I guess you already did this problem, but see if you did it right. So if you did it right, you should end up with around 3.1 grams. Okay, so just make sure you can do a problem like this, and if you can't, try to get some help. That's the end of this video here.